I was 10 years old when my mother went missing. She's been missing for 22 years.
My sister Pam has been missing now for 5 years.
Our son, Larry Jr., he's been missing for 8.5 years. This is like a nightmare.
My daughter was 4 years old when she was abducted. All her toys are still in her room. I miss my child. I miss my baby.
Black and Missing Foundation is a nonprofit organization to bring awareness to missing persons of color.
What I saw in the media was a disparity in the coverage of missing people of color.
We're not trying to dishonor any community. We're just trying to even a playing field.
Since our inception in 2008, there have been 1.2 million people of color reported missing. The Black and Missing Foundation assists families in a number of ways. We assist them in working with law enforcement.
The Black and Missing Foundation is very important. Because of Ms. Wilson's law enforcement background, they bridge that gap with law enforcement and the victim's family.
We assist them in getting media coverage.
Regardless of where you come from, as far as your neighborhood, your socioeconomic standing, the complexion of your skin, each life has value. This organization works tirelessly to keep that message in front of society.
We created a website so anyone around the country can see the thousands of missing people of color, and they can help bring that individual home. I'm in media relations. Derica is a veteran law enforcement official, and those are the two critical components needed in finding our missing. So if someone has any information, please report it anonymously to bamfi.org. It could be your family, and you would want someone to report it.
Our 5K is a great way to raise awareness to missing persons all throughout the United States.
Here we go. On your mark. Get that.
But most importantly, we educate and empower our community to take action in finding our missing or providing closure for families.
And these families need our help.
The day that Michelle Nicole went missing was a normal day. She was on her way to her after-school program.
She left, kissed me goodbye, said I love you, and said I love you back, be safe, and everything, and she took off, and that was the last time I seen her.
It's not easy to get exposure for a missing child of color. I know this firsthand. I personally reached out to every media outlet you can possibly imagine and was brushed off like a fly on the shoulder. My sister in Georgia told me about an organization called Black and Missing. From the minute we contacted Black and Missing, the exposure began. All over the country. Somewhere around month 3 or 4, I gave up hope of finding her alive. And while in bed, a wreck, the phone rang, and it was Derica.
And I told her that we were gonna find her daughter.
She said, "Hey, Janelle, do you wanna go on The View?" And I'm like, I don't know if I can do that. And Natalie kind of shook me a little bit and said, Janelle, you can do this. And you will do this.
So, hello and welcome to The View.
Whoopi Goldberg heard about the Black and Missing Foundation, and she wanted to use their platform to help bring awareness to missing people of color because she understands that there's a disparity.
See this girl? Her name is Michelle Diamante Green. If you have any information, maybe you saw somebody with her, take a good look, go into your memory. If you find that you have just the least bit of information, please contact the authorities. It will really be a wonderful thing to reunite this family. Thank you, Janelle and Derica Wilson. We will be right back.
About 15 minutes after the segment aired, my phone rang.
I received a tip from a caller that advised that they knew the whereabouts of Michelle Green. I in turn notified law enforcement to get units sent out there to that address.
They found my baby. I just hugged her. And I just reveled in that one moment that I was hugging my daughter again.
They were able to find this young lady that had been missing for 5.5 months.
I never thought that I would be on national television. Never. And I especially never thought we would be on national television and my daughter just be delivered back home to us right away.
Here he is when he was graduating from Head Start. I had gotten custody of Deshawn when he was 3 years old. He was a fat little baby back then. Deshawn is my oldest grandchild. Deshawn is my heart. He would dress as a female. Majority of the time he would put on dresses and skirts, and he kept his hair done all the time. But I didn't care how he dressed because I was gonna love him anyway. He was my world. I loved him. I didn't care that he was gay, but it set him up as to be a target. He was picked on and people would fight him, you know. He went to meet a friend and he disappeared without a trace.
There is an issue of missing gay youth in America, especially in the African American community. It's taboo to be gay. You know, and there's so many transgender teens who are missing. They're being lured into sex trafficking, and it's just heartbreaking. But it's time for our community to wake up because it's happening in our backyard.
The Black and Missing Foundation came into my life when I felt I had nobody. You know, nobody had my back.
We continue to help families who are still searching. We ask them to never give up hope. Since our inception, we have assisted many families in finding their missing loved one. Sadly, not all of them have been returned alive. However, they do have some sense of closure, finding or getting an answer, whether it's good or bad, as to what happened to their missing loved one.
I'm finding, if it take the last breath of my body, I'm finding out what happened to my grandchild. I miss my baby. He has to hurry up and come home.
I knew something was going wrong when I called my son's mom in the morning, and I went to her home that evening to retrieve the kids, and nobody was there. A neighbor informed me that they had moved, and at that point I knew they were gone. With parental abductions, you know who has your child, but you just can't put your hands on it. I worried about their health because I had checked the school systems and everything, and they weren't in school or anything. When I would go to the police department, they would tell me it's a civil matter. I have to go to the judge and get a contempt order. I went to the judge, I had a contempt order. It was just a nightmare because I was back and forth every day, and that's what I went through for almost 2 years.
We know there's a sense of distrust with the minority community and law enforcement, so we coach them through that process.
When I spoke with John about his case, I said, you must choose your words carefully. Your children's mother abducted them. It's a parental abduction, and that's how it needs to be filed with law enforcement. I actually reached out to law enforcement directly. I went to the chief of police. Once you actually label or classify the case appropriately, it sends a sense of urgency to law enforcement.
Once Derrica and the Black and Missing Foundation got involved, I finally got the help that I needed to get a detective assigned to my case. Ultimately, the vehicle that my boys had been abducted in was spotted about 30 minutes away. At that point, someone called Derrica on the tip line. Derrica then called the police department, and they acted on it. My boys were found.
Love you.
Love you too, Daddy.
The reason we started the foundation is because this can happen to any one of us, and we possess the resources to help find and bring these missing individuals home.
I'm proud to announce that our boys are home. And I know that none of this would have been possible. Erica and Natalie in the back. Please come.
It was a great feeling to see these families that reunite with their loved ones, but then we have hundreds and thousands of families that are still searching.
I just want to say, never give up, never give up.
Since our inception, many families have been reunited with their missing loved ones.
Unfortunately, there's so many cases out there that are still unsolved.
These are mothers, fathers, brothers, sisters, grandparents, kids that are missing, and we all should feel connected because it can happen to you, it can happen to me.
We need the Black and Missing Foundation because without them, we wouldn't have anybody.
When we had no other options, Black and Missing said, there are more options, just hold on, we're gonna find them. And they did.
The Black and Missing Foundation is a voice for us. And without that voice, we'll be forgotten.
Families with a missing loved one cling to hope. The Black and Missing Foundation provides that hope and help for the overwhelming number of missing people of color. They are those voices for the missing. As a small all-volunteer group, the Black and Missing Foundation has already made a huge impact, but with your generous donation, imagine how many more children and adults can be brought home and reunited with their loved ones. More than 200,000 people of color go missing each year, and finding them, sadly, is very expensive work. So please visit the Black and Missing Foundation website at bamfi.org and make a tax-deductible donation today. My name's Whoopi, and I just want to personally thank you for helping Derica and Natalie in their life-saving work.